Now, every one of the books that you're going to see today was a book that was actually purchased on Amazon and then resold back on Amazon for a profit. This business model is called online book arbitrage, and it's what I do at 10:30 p.m. to midnight as a hobby. But at this point in time, it's actually helped me quit my job. I'm no longer a high school chemistry teacher. I used to be a high school chemistry teacher, but now I've been able to make enough money just flipping books on Amazon that I've decided just to spend more time with my wife and my son during the day and just continue to do this side hustle at night. So if you're interested, let's dive into these 5 books and then, let's get into it. All right, so the first thing you can see on my dashboard is that today we have $700 in sales. I'm only going to show you 5 of the books that sold today. Again, these 5 books sold for over $20 profit. By the way, my average book sells for about $33 profit per book, and obviously these 5 books I'm going to show you vary, but they're all over $20 profit. So the first book I want to show you is Fundamentals of Industrial Distribution. It sold for $49.99. Here you can see that there is actual factual evidence of this book being purchased on May 6th of 2024. If I click view this order, you can actually see it right there. $9.60 was the all-in buy cost. We bought it on Amazon for under $10. I did use my Amazon Rewards Visa Signature credit card, which gives us 5% back. An awesome credit card. You'll see a little bit later in the video why, but I would highly recommend getting that. Also, is an amazing credit card to get started if you're interested in this. Now again, $9.60 there is the buy cost, $49.99 as the selling price. We made a $25 profit, over a 260% ROI in this book. Now the reason why I purchased this book is if you scroll down to the keeper graph, you can actually see periods of time where this book generally can sell for well over $30, even into the $40 mark. You can actually see there was a sale in February of this year where the use price was $134, and the sales rank dropped here. So the sales rank, the screen line represents the popularity of the book, and whenever you have a massive improvement in sales rank like this, from 1.6 million down to 293,000, that tells us that the book is sold, and you can actually see how that offer the offer count down here went from 1 to 0. So the book could even sell up to $134. Now, in this case, I was able to buy the book for under $10. I was using BookMine to pick this up, but was able to flip it for $49.99 and make a $25 profit. Now we're going to scroll down just a little bit and to see this Against the Odds and Autobiography. This sold for $75.55. So again, here it is on the actual Amazon listing. You can see I purchased this January 26th of this year. When I click view this order, you can see that I actually bought 2 copies. $61.90 was the total buy cost, but I was able to pick up each individual copy for $26.96. Again, getting 5% back in rewards credit, which is awesome. And the reason why I actually picked up this copy is you can actually see from the keeper graph that this is a book that the lowest use price, denoted or represented by this black line, generally is $60 or more. Yes, there are periods of time when the book drops in price for a very short period of time. That's actually the best time to buy this book, but this is a book that has plenty of sales rank drops, which means the book is listed at well over $60 basically year round. There's tons of improvement in sales rank drops, which means that people are actually actively buying this book. And actually, this is a replen, I believe. I think I've sold this multiple times. Yeah, you can actually see I've sold this book many times. So a replen is just a book that you buy once, sell, and then replenish. You buy it again and again and again. So another book that I found with BookMine here, you can actually see I sold it for $96 about a year ago. So I've been selling this book for the last year, $76, $76, $72, $72, and now $75. And again, I have one more copy that I'm still going to sell here. Now, pro tip, whenever you find a book like a replen, the easiest way to track it is to use Keepa. You can click the track product feature, and you can go ahead and update your existing tracking. In this case, if you want to track it for a specific dollar amount, you can. You can see I'm tracking it for $18. I actually purchased it for more than that. So in this case, I should probably change that to, let's say, $26, including shipping, but I can update my tracking there. And over the next year, essentially what will happen is that Keepa will send me a notification if the book ever gets that low. Now for this book, we made a $27 profit, 100% ROI. Awesome book. Let's go to the next one. The book right underneath it, this book called The Drawing, sold for $65.89. Now this book I'm really excited for, and the reason for that is, again, you can actually see I bought it on January 22nd on Amazon itself. But when I click view this order, you can actually see I purchased this book for $22.05, but under grand total, it says $0. That's because I use rewards points. So remember I told you that using the Amazon Rewards Visa Signature credit card gives you 5% back in rewards points. Well, you can decide what you want to do with those reward points. You can use it for travel. You can use it for cash back. I like to just use it to buy more books. In this case, we actually picked up a book in Amazon for free using rewards points. and we're able to sell it for, again, $65.89. Now, if we go ahead and put in our $0 buy cost, you can see we made a profit of $45 on this book. I do this all the time, and because I buy thousands of dollars worth of book every single year, I generally end up with, well over a few $1,000s in rewards points every single year. So every year I usually buy a couple $1,000s in, worth of books for absolutely free. So think about the numbers, right? If you spend $100,000 on purchasing books every year, you'd get $5,000 in cash back. That $5,000 can be used to buy more books, which can have awesome return on investment like this. Actually, an infinite ROI. Right now, Amazon's running a special promotion where you get a $200 Amazon gift card instantly upon approval. So if you're somebody who's new to this and you're really thinking about this as a long-term strategy, then you could get this credit card, get $200 you can use for your first, book purchases, and then also get 5% back on every purchase. Now, obviously, I want to make sure that if you're somebody who has not the best sort of track record with credit cards, then I wouldn't recommend opening it. But in the case that you're somebody who is using it responsibly, absolutely, it's an insane credit card. I use it all the time, and obviously, it works wonders. All right, scrolling down a little bit, we see Art of Africa. Awesome book here, $79.99. Once again, you can see that there is real evidence that I purchased this on Amazon on September 27th of last year. The order details show that we bought this for $22.66. And again, when we come down to the Keepa graph, the reason for this is if you look at this book's long-term historical data, it sells for over $60. Now, the way that I know that is if you look at just the black line, which represents the lowest use price, this book generally is listed at $60 or higher on Amazon, even up to $100. And because we see the sales rank dropping, that tells us the book is actually selling when the book is listed at that price. And so you can see I was able to pick up this copy on BookMine when the book went from essentially $97 all the way down to $22. I was able to pick up a copy. It was able to sell mine for $79.99. Made a $30 profit on this book and 133% ROI. Now, again, the awesome thing about this about this model is I don't actually physically need to touch the books. All the books that I'm purchasing go to my prep center, Central Virginia Prep. What they're going to do is open up the package, inspect the book, make sure it's the correct book, make sure it doesn't have water damage, make sure it doesn't have a lot of highlighting, that the binding isn't ripped apart, and then they'll list the book for me in Amazon and they'll ship it to an Amazon warehouse. They charge me $2.25, which is fine because if we look at the actual fee breakdown, I include the fee breakdown, the prep fee, $2.25. And even with the $2.25 fee, we're still making a $30 profit. So of course you could prep this on your own. And if you want to do that, you could use something like GoToLister. I have, tutorials on my YouTube channel on how to use that listing software. You can save yourself a little extra money in the beginning, but long-term, if you want this to be scalable, you're getting the prep center. I recommend Central Virginia Prep. I actually don't get anything for sending me there. They're just an awesome prep company and they can handle your needs. So another great book. We made over $30 profit on this one. Now, the last book we're going to look at is called The Thomas Guide King Pierce County Street Guide. This sold for $57.74. You again can see I actually bought this on May 25th of this year. If we look at the order details page, you can actually see that I bought 3 copies for essentially a little bit, about $16 or $17 there. Again, getting my 5% cash back with the Amazon Rewards Visa Signature credit card, but inputting the buy cost of I guess it was actually a lot higher, $19.42. Sales price of $57. We made an $18 profit, 95% ROI, and we still have a few more copies of this book in stock. But again, the reason for purchasing this is the lowest use price of this book on Amazon is generally $40 to $50 or more. At times it gets cheaper than that, and that's awesome. That's when we have an opportunity to buy it. Again, this is another book that was purchased using BookMine. So the book was at $40. It got down here to about $15 plus shipping. That's why I picked up a few copies, and I've already sold one, made $18 profit, and I believe we have a couple more in stock there to sell. So you've heard me mention BookMine a couple of times here. BookMine is a software that my good friend Victor Gallegos and I had made together. We tried to make it as easy as possible to find undervalued books on Amazon. It took a lot of work in order to make this software, and essentially if you do sign up for a free trial of BookMine, what you would be able to see in your dashboard here is the BookMine app. Now, if you do want to try out, let's say, the mid-tier, the gold prospector tier, then you actually have access to the twice monthly group coaching calls as well. So you can click on that link and you can see, essentially all of our meetings here, which happen every 2 weeks. If you go with the highest tier, the gold miner tier, unfortunately you can't trial that one out because there's a one-on-one with Victor or I, but you can schedule your one-on-one there with Victor or I if you are a part of a gold miner. But you would just go ahead and click this BookMine app here, and this is where all the magic happens. This is where we try to find the best books right now available or purchase on Amazon to buy and then resell on Amazon for a profit. And again, the goal here is to find books that are undervalued. So here's a great example. example of a book. This is a book about quilts. You can see the lowest use price of this book is generally about $50 or more on Amazon. Plenty of green sales ring drops, just indicates that the book actually sells. And then now it's sitting down here at right around $22. This is a great example of a book that I would be interested in purchasing for right around $22 and then selling for $50 to $60. So you can again see right now the use price is $18 plus shipping. BookMine's going to show you the all-in cost, so about $22. And again, we see plenty of sales ring drops when this use price is right around $50. Now the goal here would be to go to the actual product listing and to buy any book that's listed in, let's say, good or better condition. You can certainly buy books that are listed in acceptable condition, although I would highly recommend sticking to those sellers that have very high feedback, 95%, 96% or higher. Those sellers that list books in acceptable condition probably are actually going to give you a copy that is at least acceptable, if not even better than that. And for example, a lot of Goodwills tend to under-promise, over-deliver, which means you may buy an acceptable copy and they actually come in good condition, or it may be even better than that. So in this case, we have a few copies at the $22 mark. But again, this is a book that generally is listed at $40 to $50 with plenty of sales. So the goal here would be to buy it at $22, probably to sell this for like $55. And there you go, $14 profit, 60% ROI. This is again an example of a book that I would buy a few copies of as well, because in the last 3 months you can see it sells 15 to 20 times. I don't see any reason why you couldn't buy 2 or 3 copies of this book and why it couldn't do really well. Now, if you're interested in using BookMine, you can try out a free 10-day trial down below, absolutely risk-free. You can also trial out and actually look at watch some of the videos that Victor and I record with the other Gold Prospector members of BookMine. Also, there is a Facebook group that you'll have access to if you do join that is private and it is only for members. So if you end up canceling and not going beyond the 10-day free trial, we will kick you out, but only because we really want to make sure that the Facebook group is for BookMine members only. So feel free to come in, see what people have to say, try it out. And yeah, we're here to support you guys long term. Even if you're not ready for it, let's say at the end of the 10 days you cancel, that's absolutely fine. We're here to support you. Our goal is to help you get to that point where BookMine is an absolute no-brainer. And really hope you enjoy the video. See you guys in the next one, and goodbye.